Welcome back. Now, the Department of Labour and South Africa at large are currently under pressure to create and sustain jobs as the unemployment rate reaches 40%. Now, the DTI Labour and Productivity SA are all celebrating 25 years of their training and employment creation program called Workplace Challenge. It has created more than 50,000 jobs so far. But for more on this, Productivity SA CEO Mothunye Mothiba joins me now for this conversation. Thank you so much, Mr. Mothiba, for your time, and good morning to you. I think before we get into the Workplace Challenge and the work that you're doing to try and resolve the problem, let's talk about the problem. When we speak of unemployment and the high stats we're looking at 40% plus, in your view, how did South Africa find itself in this challenging time when it comes to job creation?
Good morning to you, Tumelo, and the viewers of NCA. If you look back to 2008, particularly after the global financial crisis, South Africa never recovered. We had our productivity down. Our competitiveness has been declining ever since. Now, if you have your enterprises having to compete in global value chains, and yet they are not supported through a policy framework that is pro-employment growth, a skills development program that is actually not mostly informed by the labor market, that is the demand side, you end up with where we are now. If you look at the South Africa's global competitiveness ranking, which is through the Institute of Management Development, Switzerland's based, there are four things that were found wanting on. The first one is government performance, which deals with issues of policy. And particularly here, it's about creating an enabling environment for entrepreneurship and sustainable enterprises. The second is economic performance. That's where you talk about programs like the Workplace Challenge program, whereby you then start weighing in on what is it that we do to improve the value chain competitiveness of our companies. The third area, it's what we call labor market and business efficiency. Just the relationships between management and workers, and also us as a country addressing issues of productivity and competitiveness holistically at both government level or macro level, as well as at the sector level and enterprise level. And the final one, it's around infrastructure. Now, infrastructure includes two key things. One, it's your education system, and the second, it's innovation. So if you do badly on these four things that I have mentioned, you run the risk, the outcome of it, or the consequence. It's unemployment, poverty,
if I may
inequality.
Just also come in there, Mr. Mothiba, because we can't deny how COVID-19 as a pandemic further exacerbated the already existing challenges in South Africa that prohibit us to, maximize our potential when it comes to productivity, but also creating and sustaining jobs. With what we have all witnessed with the pandemic, have we recovered? Are we looking promising, if we're not, at getting at least to pre-pandemic levels in terms of job creation and sustaining it?
We're not recovering. As I said, I always look at where we were after the global financial crisis. We were on a very slippery slope. So COVID actually found us on our knees. the focus during that period was more on ensuring that South Africans are safe and healthy.
Right.
But reports come out very clear, particularly in terms of the support that we provided to small enterprises was insufficient to the extent that they would recover. One of our programs as Productivity SA is what we call Business Turnaround and Recovery, which helps companies that are facing economic distress, particularly those that were affected by the pandemic and were about to shed jobs. We have done as much as we could, but the interventions are very little due to financial challenges. Now, we have not, from an economic point of view, as well as the labor market, we are still facing serious challenges. And that is why when our competitiveness was evaluated in terms of the Institute of Management Development, we have actually dropped from 61 to 62 when we're compared with other nations.
With that being said, there's another challenge, the workplace challenge to the WPC. Take me through it, but also the story behind how it's transforming big industries into globally competitive industries.
The interesting story about the Workplace Challenge program is that it was a thinking by social partners in NEDLAC. Government, business, and labor came together in 1998 when South Africa was entering global markets. So the issue at that point was the fact that we were excluded through sanctions and other means to participate in global value chains. How are we going to capacitate South African companies, both big and small, to ensure that they're able to compete in those spaces? A number of things emerged. I'm just going to cite four. The first is that interaction resulted in a focused program which is funded by the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, and implemented by Productivity South Africa. Now, just there, you can see that there's what one would call joined up government. The Department of Labor, through Productivity South Africa, and the DTIC joining forces to implement a program that would enhance the value chain competitiveness of our enterprises. The second area is that at the workplace, because the apartheid system was divisive, workers were not treated as human beings who have a brain. So the Workplace Challenge program introduced in the workplace collaboration between management and workers, and therefore democratizing the workplace to allow everybody, both workers and management, to interrogate the problems that they are facing and come up with solutions there too. The third thing is we were able to then subsequently intervene in companies, and that is why you were mentioning this issue of over 5,000 jobs created. In essence, we're able to support 3,000 companies to improve their value chain competitiveness. We're seeing positive strides because the other thing that we achieved was that in respective sectors and industries, companies are also able to share lessons and best practice.
We'll leave it there, Mr. Mothunye Mothiba. Sounds like a good story that needs to not only be told, but lessons derived from it, because so far I understand this program The Workplace Challenge program has created 50,000 jobs so far, further transforming those big industries into globally competitive ones. All my thanks to you for speaking to us about this. Mothunye Mothiba of Productivity SA, thank you so much for your time.